of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. We have the full CHGO White Sox crew here for Postgame Show. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Alongside me, Vinnie Duber, our CHGO White Sox beat writer. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber. The man in the middle is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him at Actonwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. Coming to you live after a White Sox loss.
I'm sad that Fred's not here to tell us about the slow march to 100 losses.
Why isn't Fred here?
He's not here. He's got things to do. Probably not
but
watching
Alejandro
games.
says at Fred.
Yeah, he's probably looking
Fred
for
was
Fred.
probably in here before the stream even started.
Yeah.
Fred's going to comment in a second. I bet Fred said something about the tumbleweed of 100 losses or something. They lost, shocker, 9-3. The Orioles love to waste water, apparently, because that shouldn't have been as long as it was. I mean, the White Sox also, to just, share the blame, also continued it by scoring runs in the ninth. Fred's in here. Come on. We do have a diehard sale going on, so let's get to the CHGO stuff. We'll tell you about the CHGO.
It's excitement. Yes.
Stuff that we have going on. Then we'll talk about the game.
Okay.
I guess. Then we'll talk about the big White Sox news of the day.
This podcast episode has a table of contents, which I'm enjoying.
I hopefully we stick to it. Then
We won't.
no chance at all. What was the other thing? Now I was thrown off. Oh, and then more CHGO content. We have the list.
The rankings continue.
The rankings continue. We did 21 through 25 yesterday, and then we're going to do 20 through 16 today. What is Susie doing here?
Good riddance. He just hates the White Sox, apparently.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Isn't her team playing? And aren't her fans attacking the center fielder of the other team? I was just going to say hi. But
Susie's I know she covers the Rockies, but she's a Philadelphia person, I believe.
Yeah. All right. Oh, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
She's having a great year.
Or maybe it's a weirdo impersonating Susie. Who knows? It's the internet. Anyways, let's jump into the sales going on. Steven, why don't we start off with the diehards? Because if you're hanging out here after a 9-3 loss in a season where there's 29 games left and they need 11 wins in those 29 games to avoid 100 losses, you're probably a diehard. So for 48 hours only, starting today, go sign up to be a diehard. You get a free T-shirt with membership, and the price is usually about $80, $79.99 to be specific. Today, slashed to $60 for football starting. We don't cover football.
No.
But the sale covers all sports.
Yes, right. It's just in celebration
Yes.
of the return of football.
We are CHGO Sports, but it's football time.
Did you see who joined our diehard members today?
Our guy.
Yes.
Which, unfortunate when we do night games, we can't see the shirtless guy. Visibility goes down.
Right. We can't tell if
And he's
he's
probably
got
at work,
the
too.
jersey out there now. Yeah,
right.
so.
It's probably at his job, but he owns a bar.
The store, which doesn't close till 4 a.m. So he's definitely there. He's probably going to be there until like 4 a.m. So shout out to the shirtless guy. We don't really have a name for him because we just had our first ever interaction with him.
He has a name that was in the thing. I don't know if he wants us to give it out.
His name was when he messaged that he became a diehard.
Oh yeah,
his full name was there.
It was.
But just
he's on board. He took advantage of the
yes.
sale. Yeah.
Well, the Bulls guys call him Shirtless Wonder.
Sure.
I think everyone else calls him Shirtless Guy. What do we want to call him as a show?
We have to pick a new thing. Oh man, I was unprepared for this.
Well,
that was not in the table of contents.
I just thought
that was not in the table of contents, Stephen. You're right.
Damn.
We need a longer brainstorm session for this than just on the spot.
Again, I said we'll try to stick to it, and Herb and Steven laughed. Anyways, Shirtless Guy, we'll just go with that. Signed up to become a diehard today. $60. Usually it's about $80. You get a shirt when you sign up, and if you do...
So he'll no longer be Shirtless Guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shirtful guy.
Yeah,
There you
how
go.
is that going to happen?
Shirted guy.
Because now we know he has at least one shirt.
Right.
And that White
And
Sox
he's got
shirt.
that White Sox jersey.
sure.
Now that one buttons, so you could kind of be halfway on that one.
Right.
It'd be like Aloy, have
Yeah,
only
right,
two
right.
buttoned and have all the taco meat
Yeah.
out.
So, which shirt would you pick? Would you go with the Skyline one?
I would go with the CHGO script one that Steven was wearing yesterday. It's kind of like the White Sox, how they have their Chicago jersey on the road, but take out the I
And the A.
and the A too.
Yeah, right.
And the second C.
Yeah, a
Put
couple
them
letters
together. CHGO.
But the shirt's cool.
And Susie was talking about our subject of our title, Good Riddance.
Gotcha. We'll get to it. But sign up today. You get, obviously, $60 to be a diehard. You get access to our CHGO Discord, and you also get 20% off all events. So we have the CHGO Bears tailgates coming up. So if you are looking to go to some of these tailgates, you get drink tickets as well for being a diehard. You get perks. So you basically save money. If you're going to come to these tailgates anyways, you're going to get percentage off. You're going to get more perks. And obviously, you get the deal now. So sign up today. It's a great deal. And we would love to see more people join the community because we're growing, which is fun.
Decent amount of people joined today, so jump on with them too.
Next up, what are we doing, Steven? Sale? There
Want
we
to
go.
do t-shirt sale?
We also, for Countdown to Kickoff, we have the T-shirt and hat sale. All T-shirts and hats are $24. Again, you can go get the CHGO script shirt that Herb shouted out. You can go get that in red as well, as you can see on the graphic. You can get the Skyline one. If you're a Cubs fan, I think David is. You can go get the Sweet Emotion one for Christopher Morel. And maybe you're a Brags fan. You want to build it brick by brick. The White Sox might need a brick by brick shirt themselves. But go check out chgolocker.com, and all T-shirts and hats are $24. And then also diehards too. You can take off another
20%.
20%. So I think T-shirts are around $10.99. So if you are a diehard, go load up on T-shirts. What?
You said $10.99 from 24.
I think that's what the website
Come on,
says.
math. Come on.
I am trying to spin a lot of plates here.
You're
trying to
doing
stick
good.
to the table of contents. Fred has a pretty good idea. Maybe he does get a CHGO. The shirtless guy gets a CHGO style Brian Shaw tattoo down his back.
On his back.
I would like it. We could have Eric design it.
I would not want that for him because that Brian Shaw tattoo is terrible. And, if you have a back tattoo, sorry, close your ears right now. But back tattoos, you're not going to see it. Get a tattoo that you can see.
Well, we saw Brian Shaw's because he has his shirt off in the locker room.
Everybody else can see it, but you can't.
Shirtless guy because, again, he's shirtless. And then are those all the sales? Do we have one more?
So many sales. So
I'm
many
thinking that's
savings.
it. We had Bears tailgate. We talked about that. We had the Die Hard sale, and we have the T-shirt sale. And
Did we do the Bears tailgate, though?
Yeah.
Did we say all the dates, though?
we didn't say the dates. You did bring it up,
Okay.
though.
But we got the first one coming up week 1. So
September
tickets are
10th.
on sale on September 10th. So if you do want to come out week 1 and you are a diehard, go get your 20% off and come hang out with us at the Bears tailgate on September 10th. The next one, though, after that, October 1st, then October 15th. October 22nd and November 9th.
Susie can come to that one, the October 1st one. I know she probably has to cover a Rockies game that day. But the
Day of the season, as we've been over.
The Denver people come in for their whole people. The DMVR people are setting up a flight hotel situation to come tailgate with us and watch Russell Wilson and the boys lose to the Bear on that day. So Susie can come on that day.
You feeling real confident in that loss?
Not really.
Okay, all right.
He's got a better coach this year, so it's going to be bad.
We can confidently say that the White Sox lost tonight to the Baltimore Orioles. They also lost last night, and we're going to roll back the clock and go to last night because there was a play yesterday that we talked about with Oscar Colas, kind of missing the cutoff, throwing it to third base when he should have thrown it to second base or at least to the cutoff man around second base.
I would think that missing the cutoff would, require him to have been aiming for the cutoff. Mm-hmm. He was just aiming for third base.
Exactly.
He threw to the wrong base.
And we talked a little bit about that yesterday, and Pedro was asked about the team's effort and focus level of late before today's game, and Pedro said, and this is from Daryl Van Schouwen, who's out in Baltimore. We have some lapses both on the physical end and the mental end. Hey, what's up? Shirtless guy's watching. I don't know if he's over there or not. Shout out to Shirtless guy. We have some lapses both on the physical end and the mental end. We just saw Colas yesterday, just the lack of focus, throw a ball over the cutoff man in a non, the play was over. In a non?
I don't know.
What?
It just might be misquoted or...
The quote is, throw a ball over the cutoff man in a non, comma, the play was over.
I'm guessing that is a typo on Daryl's
Okay.
part.
All right, my bad. I don't,
Yeah.
I was just trying to read word for word. Throw the ball to second base and keep the double play in order. Cost us a run. Every once in a while, we'll get a lapse running. All those things are addressed. We're going to continue to address them. Eventually, something will give one way or the other. To answer your question, probably about 80%, as in the effort/focus level of late. Something's got to give at some point. If you don't do the things we want to do as an organization and as a team, you're probably not going to fit in this culture and environment. What do you make of, Pedro Grifol bringing up Oscar Colas again?
Listen, he has been very much a defender of his players, and I don't think that's changed. I would say that he is overwhelmingly that. When it comes, though, to talking about guys in public and the mistakes that they have made, he has been, on purpose, overwhelmingly directing that talk toward Oscar Colas. And I think it is reflective of the work that they're trying to do with him to hammer home what they are trying to teach him, what they're trying to get him to develop. And when those things that you're trying to get somebody to develop are things that are mental mistakes, fundamental mistakes, stuff that, to use the colloquial phrase that you guys like yourselves and everybody online use all the time, stuff you learn in Little League, that kind of thing. I'm sure it's frustrating for this coaching staff. I'm sure that they're out there saying, listen, we can't go up, we can't go up there and ensure that these guys are going to get a hit every single time. We can't ensure that the starting pitchers are not going to get hit every single time. What we can ensure is that our guys know how to play the game and are doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. They're not screwing up on a fundamental level. Oscar Colas has not been able to get into that category for the White Sox yet. He's making routine mistakes in the outfield. Today, we saw a pretty hard-to-watch attempt to get a bunt down, and he couldn't do it. He ended up popping it up softly to the third baseman. We had Herb, was it you or Steven, sitting there going, well, why is he not bunting right? Why is he not fundamentally doing what you're supposed to be doing when you're bunting?
Wrapping his hand around the entire bat.
It was very clearly something he was not comfortable doing. Sure, he did it because he was asked to, but so obviously that is probably very frustrating to Pedro, frustrating to this coaching staff to repeatedly have to find new things to teach a guy that came to you as an advanced prospect, right? Because of the play that he was able to do professionally over in Japan. So, listen, Oscar Colas' development is not done, as we well know, because Pedro keeps telling us that's the case. I'm not saying that he has no chance of ever cleaning this thing up. But right now, as we talked about yesterday, Pedro deeming this the important time to evaluate Colas and all the other players going into next year, he is not passing that test right now. He is making too many mistakes on too regular a basis, and I think that it could very well, again, we'll hear from whoever might end up being the new baseball boss on what they think about this, but I think this could very well end up creating a new item on the to-do list for the offseason.
Seems like a guy like myself who's watching from the outside sees that Pedro goes out of his way to be a player's manager, to be, kind of, deferent, have some deference towards them if they do mess up. But it seems like, and somebody brings up the point that maybe they're not coaching him, but I would think that they're coaching him to throw it to the damn cutoff man and to have that in his plan. And so it seems like Oscar is either absent-minded or just, forgetting all his training there, because it seems like he can't bunt, even though he's not a bunter. If your manager asks you to bunt there, you should be able to lay one down easily there. And he was like going out of the box trying to get a hit while he was bunting. No, the point was to sacrifice bunt. I don't like sacrifice bunting, but if your manager asked you to do it, execute the play, and he was terrible at it.
Well, and I can tell you this, I think a lot of people have gone to the level of, and certainly when a team is nearly 30 games below 500, I understand the frustration with which this comes from. The thought of, they must never even practice this stuff. They're not even doing this. They're not working. They're not trying. I can tell you for a fact that they practice bunting because I've sat there during batting practice and watched a player as unbunt friendly as Eloy Jimenez sit there and do bunting in the batting cage during batting practice. They practice this, but that doesn't mean that they're necessarily ready to do it in a game. And certainly in the case of Oscar Colas tonight, he did not look ready to bunt against a Major League pitcher in a Major League Baseball game.
And Blake Name brings up Lenine Sosa. What are you doing?
Yeah,
bunting?
oh my God. And most of the people on the broadcast thought he was doing that on his own. I thought he was doing it on his own too, which is just ridiculous. You have runners on first and second. You've had a good game, 2 for 2, I think, at that time.
And then he got a hit the next time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he bunts. Like, that's just dumb. Like, you're not Zach Remillard. You're not on this team to bunt. You're on the team to hit the home run you hit earlier in the game. That's what you're on the team for. That's just, for me, that's just a player being not fundamentally sound, not thinking of the game while the game is going on. There's a time and space to do that. If he was in the reverse spot of where Colas was, where he was on first and second with nobody out, and then he wanted to bunt for himself, I would have problems with it. But at least if he would have got it down like he did eventually, I've been like, all right, fine. Sacrifice bunt, fine. I hate it, but I see what your head's at. When there's one out and first and second, no. Why are we giving up another damn out for the next guy who's worse than you, who's batting behind you, to get a chance to hit, which was, I think, the catcher, Corey Lee. Yeah. So, yeah, it was just really dumb for him to do that bunt right there.
To me, that struck as, if you'll remember, the first batter of that inning was Andrew Vaughn, and he had the swinging bunt down the third baseline that the third baseman was in no position to field. Again, that's luck of the draw. That's not on the third baseman. But I couldn't help continuing to think of that when watching Lenine Sosa do what he did and say, was he going up there saying, well, I know where the third baseman's going to be playing. Do I take advantage of that? It obviously didn't work, and, I mean, it killed that rally that they had going because they had the first 2 guys on in that inning. Lenine, rightfully so, was getting a lot of criticism for that choice and it not working out. But certainly lumped Colas in there too because he could not get the job done before him, which then changed the whole at bat of what Lenine needed to do. It was not good all the way around.
Well, and then Jason and Steve, they show Pedro in the dugout, and he looks miffed. So, I mean, we haven't heard Pedro's exact comments yet, but it didn't seem planned. And to be fair to the third baseman, you could probably have Andrew Vaughn bunt, and the third baseman, whoever it is, could run to that ball and still throw Andrew Vaughn out because, as we know, he is, even if StatCast is fairly accurate for the most part, they lie because that is the slowest player in baseball, Andrew Vaughn. So, I mean, maybe Lenine Sosa could beat out a bunt, but, again, it's moronic, and it did seem like, again, Pedro was frustrated. And if he's saying that they're playing at like 80%, it's pretty bad, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's a horrendous,
Well, and he's talking about effort and focus. Like, he's
Right.
not talking about they're just playing bad like they've been playing all year. You know what I mean? He's talking about something that you can very much control. And I think that's the thing that drives someone like him, a coach, a manager. That's what drives them crazy is when, Oscar Colas might not bat very well. You know what I mean? He's the first time in the majors. He might not be up there. He might not have the success at the plate. But you know what he can control? Being able to pick up a ground ball that's hit to him in right field. Being able to throw to the cutoff man. Being able to get a bunt down. He can control those things. And so when the things that they can control are not at 100%, Pedro's got to be steaming about that.
And not to go all hawkaroo, but, like, why is Zach Remillard in Charlotte? Like, I don't understand why.
What do you mean, why is Zach Remillard in Charlotte? You guys have been begging for Lenine Sosa to be playing all year. That's why.
TW. I mean, why is Elvis Andrus still on this team? Like, I mean,
he's not starting nearly as much as he was before.
Right. So, I mean, hey, at least Zach Remillard, you could have the effort. I don't know. I mean, it's just like
The movie's gonna be terrible now.
Yeah, I know. Whoever thought our star would get sent back down?
And then here's the thing too. Let's not. I said bad all the way around. Let's not let him off the hook. Herb, you said you don't like bunting.
No.
Oscar Colas is not on the team to bunt.
No.
And while he should be able to do it, when asked to do it, why was he asked to do it? And so, again, Pedro had his reasons. That's a strategy, fine. I'm usually not a guy who calls out the bunt. I don't hate the bunt so much. But what are you asking Oscar Colas to bunt for?
Yeah, he's not like if Oscar Colas is the guy that you have him to be eventually, he's not bunting ever in his career. He's a power hitting right fielder. And so to train him to bunt for something that is never going to happen in his career, is dumb. But as I said, if he asks you to bunt, you can't go against him. Just fucking lay the bunt down. It's fundamental. It's pretty damn easy. But yeah, it was dumb on Pedro's part too. I think it's every time he tries to bunt, it's dumb. But he's the manager.
But maybe after calling him out, maybe this is a test of your fundamentals. And this isn't when Kramer was up, who was the starting left-handed pitcher. It was when
Right-handed pitcher.
Right-handed pitcher. It was when Colum. How do you say it?
Colombe.
Colombe.
Yeah.
Colombe came in and he's a lefty. So maybe Pedro was saying, we know that your left-handed splits are bad. So what if you just try to do something fundamental? And obviously we saw as Mr. Unwritten Rules himself, Steven, pointed out,
my God.
he was holding the bat wrong. I know you're right.
Yeah.
I know.
That was a good observation.
I know.
Yeah.
It was.
Getting
but
thrown out at second when the ball's already in the infield that's different.
Steven was like just so ready to spit out like that his form was wrong, even when you were bringing it up.
But
He was
yeah,
like,
I mean, if you've made it this far, you're a Major League Baseball player, you should know, even if you're not good at bunting, you should know the proper form. You pinch the end of the bat so that you don't break your fingers, and he had his entire hand gripped over it. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Or if you've made it this far to the major leagues and you don't know how to bunt, it means that you're good enough at hitting that you don't need to bunt.
Yeah, but you just said, you like, the Eloy Jimenez is even bunt.
I was
like,
describing
yeah.
the decision to have him bunt.
I agree with I agree with what you
right.
say. I'm just playing devil's
Like,
advocate.
shouldn't
a little bit
Pedro know that that's
100%.
how Oscar Colas tries to
100%.
bunt?
He's supposed to be hitting home runs on this team, and
Right.
he's
Yeah, I'm
not
sure
supposed to be
that
bunting.
him bunting in the cages doesn't look like him bunting in that game because he
Right.
was bailing out. I don't know if he was bailing out because the lefty was there and he's kind of scared that it might hit him, or he's trying to leave the box early to do like a drag bunt, which is not the bunt you need right there. You need a sacrifice bunt.
and it's probably coming at batting practice level. I don't know if it's coming at 90 or game speed. So he might be bailing out because he's like, oh, what the like he's probably afraid to get hit in the face. But again, there is no excuse to hold the bat like that. You're right, baseball police.
Brian McCann is the sergeant. He's the lieutenant over there.
How's your arm? Can you? I mean, maybe you can catch.
I could catch.
Yeah, there you go. Hey. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll talk about the headline of today's podcast and the news of today. Everyone got waived. We'll talk about Mike Clevinger, who got waived. But first, we want to let you know about making this the summer with our friends over at Ray Chevy. Pardon me. Are you in the market for a new or used vehicle? If you are, then we have some great news for you because Ray Chevy in Fox Lake has just joined the CHGO team, and we're talking with the team at Ray. Our guy, Adam Hogue, went out and bought a new vehicle, and they have a pledge called the Ray Price Promise. It's a guarantee that the price you see online is the price you pay when you go into the dealership. We found that in many cases, other dealers will raise the price on you when you come into the dealership, saying things like, are you a recent college grad?
No.
Are you a farmer?
No.
Are you active in the military?
No.
Herb, you're not a farmer?
No.
Oh.
I always thought he was.
I quit.
I could have sworn I saw him at Farm Aid.
Me and the Cougar.
I mean, he was alive for it.
Right.
I was.
I mean, and he's a farmer. In most cases, like Herb said, the answer will be no. And that's why when the other dealers will raise the price on you, saying the price you see online. Wait, I'm so sorry. And that's when other dealers will raise the price on you, saying the price online included limited rebates that you do not qualify for, the ones that Herb all said no for, except for being a farmer. But at Ray, that's not the case. The price you see online is the price you pay with no add-ons to the price ever. And in fact, Ray will do everything possible to find additional savings for you, which may make the price even lower than you see online. Now through August 31st, it's 2 days, folks, all buyers can qualify for 0% financing, make 0 payments until 2024, plus put no money down, and best of all, pay 0 hidden fees with the Ray Price Promise. Visit Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com to check out all those online prices and all the deals that you will be getting. Ray Chevrolet, serving the community since 1963. Find new roads.
I'm glad they got the price promise because I can't be a farmer anymore. I'm too old to go to college. Actually, I could go to Lewis University.
You could.
And the military won't take me anymore. Flat feet, I'm 44. So thank you, Ray Price Promise.
I wish that Lewis was the next ad read, but it's not. It's AG1.
Shucks.
But still,
Yeah.
hey, we got to let people know about AG1 because this could be life-changing. The number one most important thing is you in life. You got to take care of yourself. YOU. Our next partner with AG1 is the Daily Foundational Nutritional the Daily Foundational Nutrition. I cannot read.
You got it.
The Daily Foundational Nutrition Supplement that supports whole body health. We have been drinking AG1 when we wake up in the morning for over a year and a half now since they started with us back on March 4th, 2022. It gives you a boost of energy in the morning, gives you great immune system support. It was great traveling to Vegas and being able to have AG1 in the morning. It was kind of throwing off to be in a different time zone 2 hours late, and AG1 kind of helped me feel like a little routine, you know, because I do it at home, and then I was doing it at Vegas. Obviously, I wasn't at my house. I wasn't at my home, but I was doing my AG1. Something I do at my house.
AG1.
Viva AG1, exactly. So we started AG1 because they've been supporters for a long time, but it is a supplement that delivers comprehensive nutrition to support whole body health, and it's less than $3 a day. So instead of a cold brew habit, why not have an AG1 habit? And it's a comprehensive solution for what you need from a supplement routine. Then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/CHGO socks. That's drinkag1.com/CHGO socks. Check it out. We also have to talk about King of the Game. We mentioned him, Lenyn Sosa. Got this game off to a bang. It was White Sox for a while there. He was 3 for 3 today. He had a home run, 1 RBI, and as producer Steven is taking some editorial liberty here, 1 stupid bunt.
And also got doubled off at the end of the game.
And got doubled off to end the game.
That didn't fit in the graphic, unfortunately.
When that was taking way too long, so thankfully he got double off.
Here's the thing. That is 4 home runs for Lenyn Sosa since he's come back from the minor leagues. I believe his first game back was August 18th. That is not a long time ago. 12 games. He started 10 of them. He's hit 4 home runs.
Oh. It's fun.
Good.
He and like the big thing too is like it's either strikeout or homer. But I mean 3 for 3. I mean that's pretty good.
Had 2 singles also.
Keep on doing that.
The bunt was more fundamentally sound than Oscar Colas.
You can't get picked off at first base with or doubled off at first base unless you get a hit to get on first base.
Did you do the sound, Steven?
I did not. I was looking for the graphic.
No, it's okay.
Here you go.
It's okay. Thank you. I think that's my favorite
Hear
sound.
ye, hear ye. Lenyn Sosa at the plate.
What do you want, my liege?
I don't know how to follow this up. I gotta go to like a Second City
improv class.
Yeah, you guys are good on your feet. Let's go to the title of this podcast and the news around baseball. Everyone got waived. Former White Sox Lucas Giolito was one of these players. The A's nearly put a quarter of their roster on waivers.
The Angels.
The Angels.
Yeah.
What did I say?
The A's.
AL West and nicknames starting with an A.
Sure.
Yeah, happens all the time.
Sure.
But the Angels put Lucas Giolito, Matt Moore, Reynaldo Lopez, Dominic Leone, Hunter Renfroe, and Randall Grichuk on waivers.
I heard the rally monkey too.
And
Yeah.
I feel bad for Randall Grichuk, man.
I mean, he's probably made a decent amount of money. Why do you feel bad for Randall
It's
Grichuk?
like his second time being waived from the Angels. And he's going to go down as the guy that got drafted in front of Mike Trout.
He's one of him and Mike Trout are like 2 of the only guys that actually made it from that draft. So, I mean, he had an MLB career. He's going to go probably play on a postseason team. Good for Randall.
Good job, Randall.
I mean, his name's Randall, and he's made it this far. That's pretty good.
With 1 L also.
Ew.
Unique spelling of Randall.
That's not. I don't think that's a good thing. I uniquely
it's
spell
pronounced
Randall.
the same way.
It is. That's true. But while we're talking about all these cuts, also Jose Cenero of the Tigers, Carlos Carrasco, Harrison Bader, and then Mike Clevinger was also waived.
All reported.
All reported.
Yes.
According to sources, all reported are currently on waivers. So what do we make of the news? Because I don't think we were really expecting any of these waivers. So if you want to take this in a broad baseball stance, go ahead. You also wrote about on Sunday what's going to happen with Mike Clevinger's option in 2024. We at least got answers today.
So there's a lot to sift through with this in terms of what just happened and how this is going to work, right? So I think folks that are used to pre-pandemic baseball might remember waivers in August, right? And almost every player in baseball was put on these waivers, but they were revocable, right? So it was a way to gauge interest, set up a trade maybe. You put them on waivers, see if anybody wants them, and then you pull them back. And then you could make a trade before August 31st if they cleared the waivers or if somebody else claimed them, then you make a trade. It was confusing then. It's confusing still, but it's not that. What this is now is that these are outright waivers. This is a way, typically, you would see it in another part of the season, to get somebody off your team, get them off the 26-man or get them off the 40-man roster, to send them to the minor leagues, but they don't have options left, that kind of thing. At this time of year, they get put on waivers, a team can claim them, and if a team claims them, they're gone. They are on that team. The team that placed them on the waivers get nothing. There's no trade. What they get is another team paying the rest of that person's salary for the remainder of this year, or if their contract is longer, however the length of the contract. So, in the case that has been reported with the White Sox and Mike Clevinger, the White Sox reportedly will put Mike Clevinger on waivers on Thursday. Teams can submit bids for them. There's an order it goes in. It's based on your record. The teams with the worst record have the first shot at a guy. Let's say a team says, we want Mike Clevinger. He is off the White Sox after Thursday. He's off the White Sox. That team pays the remaining, it's about $1.5 million of his salary for this season, and then guaranteed that $4 million that would be the buyout for the mutual option. Now, it is my understanding that if Mike Clevinger and the new team both agreed to the mutual option that exists currently, they could do that. He could stay on that team going forward. The contract is still the contract that they agreed to. That's what the White Sox would be getting. If someone says, why would the White Sox put their best pitcher, the guy who's been their best starting pitcher since Lucas Giolito left, on waivers and get nothing in return, what they're getting in return is some other team gets to pay him that $5.5 million. And so that's what you're seeing specifically with the Angels, why they put so many guys on there, because they are flirting with that luxury tax. And if they get rid of these guys, if all these guys that they put on waivers get claimed and take them away, that is enough money saved over just one more month of the season to get them under the luxury tax, and they don't have to suffer the penalties there within. So hopefully that clarifies some stuff and answers some questions, but it's more of important herb as we continue to talk about what the White Sox starting rotation might look like in 2024.
Yeah, and I was kind of taken aback, but it's a smart move by the White Sox to put him on there to see if anybody has any bites. It's going to be, I think, very hard for a team to assume the salary that Mike Clevinger will bring to them because of that buyout they might have to buy. And if Mike Clevinger's smart, I would just say, hey, give me my $4 million. I can re-sign with you too. You could pay me more money. I'll be a free agent for everybody. So somebody claiming him would, get the month and a half of service, but also have a $5 million price tag for a month and a half service.
But it might win them some playoff games.
It might. Right, yeah. So they might have to take that calculation, like roll the dice on Mike Clevinger, who's been pitching well since he's come off the IL at the end of July.
Very well.
But I don't know if a team is going to be willing that hard. Like Tampa, they lost a lot of pitchers. I mean, maybe they can do that. The Cubs look like they need a starting pitcher. Maybe they would get into the Mike Clevinger sweepstakes. But I would find it very hard for Mike Clevinger to come back to the White Sox. And hold on, Steven, you got the L and the A mixed up. Just for yourself.
Wow. He just shifts midstream into copy editing mode, and now he's going to go back.
But I would say it'll be good. If you're a White Sox fan, you remember when the White Sox claimed Alex Rios from the Toronto Blue Jays. Usually teams will be like, no, we want our guy back. But the Toronto was like, go, take that some bitch. Go ahead and assume his old contract too. And the White Sox had to take that player, even though I don't think they wanted to take that player at the time. But he had a decent White Sox career and then eventually had a decent career. But this is kind of different because this is pre-pandemic rules where Vinnie said after August you had only waiver deals to be done after that. There is no trades anymore. It's just you got this some bitch. He's your guy. Enjoy that money.
How did Alex Rios leave the White Sox?
Oh, man. The White Sox traded him for the best player in White Sox history, Leury Garcia.
But when?
2012.
During the waiver deadline. So that was another August one. So
it was
he
a
got
waiver
acquired
trade, right.
during the August waiver day.
If you'll remember, his name was Rios, and he danced upon the sand.
All right, I mean, I'm there.
Don't Jesus Christ me. That's what Nancy Faust played.
Did Rat play that? Did Rat sing that one?
The voice of Rat.
The voice of Rat, Stephen Pierce.
Stephen Pierce, the voice of Rats.
Stephen Pierce is the guy who played for the Orioles.
And the voice of Rats.
He played for the Red Sox. He was the World Series MVP.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, right. No, it's Piercy.
And the voice of Rat.
It's the voice of Rat. If you're looking for the Rat experience, this is different. He's the voice of Rat.
The drummer's the Rat experience.
Right.
But, like, Clevinger, I think looking at Kylie McDaniel's post, he was just theorizing what the waiver order will be if I think it ended today. But, like, it seems like San Francisco is the team they're a half game out. They're currently leading 5-0 in their game. Like, they don't have a ton of pitching. Like, I do think that it's very possible that Clevinger gets picked up. Are we surprised that he wasn't dealt at the trade deadline?
Not really.
Is that too much to do? Because now it's just all we have to do is pay him money.
I mean, he hadn't pitched.
Yeah,
he was hurt
for about a month and a half too.
His first start back off the IL was 3 days before the trade deadline. Like, I don't know if you can be selling any teams on that at that point. So I mean, I'm guessing there was probably just very limited interest at that point, just based on the fact that he wasn't healthy.
That's fair. 5 innings, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, no earned runs.
Yeah,
no walks.
But it was kind of hard for them to say, hey, yeah, you see that one start that Clevinger pitched in a month and a half? You want him? Give me some AAA player. No, it's going to be really hard to say that. But on the other hand,
they could have got Leury Garcia.
But on the other hand, whoever did that trade with Lucas Giolito and Ronaldo Lopez to get Quero and Kai Bush, that's some good-ass dealing right there because the Angels don't want them. And if they get picked up, man, that's some good-ass trading right there by Rick Hahn / Kenny Williams. Rest in peace, your White Sox careers.
Hey, at least they went out on top. I mean, that is an insane deal because, again, they're cutting bait to try to protect their butt. If they lose Ohtani, you mentioned one of the rules, their comp pick. If they lose Ohtani, if they are able to get under that CBT tier 1, they would go from a 4th to a 2nd round pick. So that'd be nice. But God, I wouldn't want to be an Angels fan right now.
Well, it just didn't work.
Like,
I mean, this happens
right.
all the time, right? I mean, folks make teams, I should say, make moves at the deadline to try to get into playoff position. There's only so many playoff positions, right? I mean, you say you don't want to be an Angels fan, like, oh man, the few trades that they made on August 1st didn't work. There are plenty of teams out there who, including this one, by the way, where everything they did building toward this year didn't work.
Right, but 29 games left. After these 29 games, White Sox fans will still be able to watch Luis Robert Jr. Angel fans, these are the last 29 games, and now it feels like the crushing reality of, oh no, Shohei Ohtani might never be an Angel again. That's what I was trying to frame it in, because this does seem like them waving the white flag. They tried every single trick in the book. They acquired all of these guys. They called up Noah Schanuel, a guy who literally was drafted like 3 weeks ago. They tried everything. You got to at least maybe applaud them for trying. Like, I'm not saying that, but it must suck knowing that it's about to end soon.
Now that I'm thinking about it, Angels fans got to be happy kind of that their GM, Perry Manassian, and their owner, Artie Moreno, are going for it, even though it wasn't successful. I'm sure they're miffed that the moves didn't work out, but also, like, at least our owner and our GM are pushing full force to try to have a championship before this guy possibly leave it. I'm sure they're going to do a full court press on keeping Shohei Ohtani on that Angels squad. And for Shohei Ohtani, I would stay there too, because they've accommodated you your whole career, and they've done exactly what you wanted to do, and they probably will help you with your pitching arm, and know that you can come back from actually throwing after you get your Tommy John surgery and come back and throw into 2025, where other teams like, hey, we put a big time investment in you in your hitting. We don't care about your pitching anymore. You're just a hitter now.
To go to Clevinger, what or how many teams do we think are still in the race? Like, and I can read this off for you guys. Obviously, Baltimore's leading the AL East. Seattle is leading the AL West. Minnesota's leading the AL Central. Tampa Bay is in the first wild card spot. Texas is in the second wild card spot. And I believe that
Houston.
Houston is in the third wild card spot. Toronto's 3.5 games back. Boston's 6.5 games back. And then you get to the Yankees, who are 11 games back. Atlanta is leading the AL East. Dodgers are leading the NL West. NL East. Dodgers are leading the NL West. Milwaukee's leading the NL Central. Philly's in the first wild card spot. Chicago is in the second wild card spot. Arizona is in the third wild card spot. San Francisco's a half game back out of the third wild card spot. Cincinnati's 1.5 games out of the wild card spot. Miami is 3 games out. San Diego and Washington are 7.5 games out.
What has gotten into the Nationals? Weren't they like the worst team in the National League 2 weeks ago?
They won today. So, yeah, they're 6-4 in their last 10. Herb, I'll go to you, at least with the San Diego here, because they're 7.5 games out.
Bad.
It seems like they're done.
Yes.
So, I mean, we saw Seattle go on a crazy run, and they won like 20 of their last 35 or like 30 of their last 35, something like that. I mean, is 7.5 really out at this point?
Yeah, there's only 30 games left, and you have all those teams you have to jump over to get to the playoffs. Unless they do a miracle thing where they win 25 of those 30 games, it's over. It's cashed out, game over for the San Diego Padres. They had a good job. They had a good effort. I applaud what the owner and the GM did, but hitting never came to fruition. Blake Snell pitched like a champion this year, but it just didn't work out. Darvish is not toast, but he's not the number one he used to be.
Is Boston out? 6.5 games out?
They lost one of their best guys today to toe surgery that will end the season.
Devers?
Duran.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, they're probably out. So Toronto, Houston, Texas, Tampa, Minnesota, Seattle, Baltimore, or Baltimore.
There's a lot, to answer your question.
All right. So
there's a lot.
I mean, how likely is it that he gets picked up by a team?
I think it's pretty likely. I mean, this is a second chance to go get starting pitching, right? Whether it's Clevinger, whether it's Giolito, whether it's anybody else that you mentioned there, or anybody else that hasn't been reported about. This is another chance a month after the trade deadline to go and get starting pitching. And what do we say always at the trade deadline? Everybody wants pitching all the time, whether it's starting, whether it's relief. That's what wins you a World Series. To throw as many arms as you possibly can at the wall to see what sticks. That's what you want to do if you're a team that's in contention. Hey, we've just seen Mike Clevinger in the last month go from a guy who was pretty inconsistent before he got hurt, going on the IL for a long time, to all of a sudden this guy's got a 2.30 ERA in the last month. Whether it's him continuing that, or whether it's Lucas Giolito finding a new team and saying, all right, now I'm going to have a great month. A team could get that, take him into the playoff roster, and all of a sudden you've got a very different outlook on your pitching. So I think that these arms get picked up. I think that, even if you're going to commit to $5.5 million for Mike Clevinger to pitch for you for only maybe a month, maybe it's a month and a half, maybe it's 2 months if you end up winning the World Series. So that, to me, would seemingly be worth it. If you're in it, you got to be in it all the way.
I'm going to say no, he's not going to be picked up, because that is the worst-case scenario for myself, that he's still a White Sox until the end of the year, and then there's questions if he's going to be back for next year. I don't like the guy. I don't want him on that team. He's pitched well. Congratulations. Go to some other team. I hope somebody picks him up, but in my heart of hearts, I think he's going to be here because, that's the White Sox season. Mike Clevinger is just going to be on the team pitching well for no damn reason.
I hope not. I hopefully he can move on because, again, just – whatever. Just go play for a playoff team or whatever. Or try to. I do think that the Cubs would be a likely landing spot, mainly just because Cody brought up that he wanted Lucas Giolito, and it's the whole Simpsons monkey paw thing that you would want a White Sox former starting pitcher. You're gonna wish for Giolito, and you're gonna get Clevinger. which, hey, you might be getting the better pitcher, at least right now.
Right now, you're definitely getting the better pitcher.
So let's take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about the CHGO Top 25 list. Right now, Cody on the CHGO Cubs podcast is chugging a Goose Island beer because the Cubs won 1-0, and Goose Island is Chicago's beer since 1988, and CHGO is supported by Goose Island beer. Steven.
You doing a honk here? Is that what this is?
Of course.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
Well, every other
You
time I
can
do
play
the
that.
honk.
You can play
Goose.
that trumpet introduction again.
Would you
Yeah,
rather?
give us
Just
the horn.
play that.
Give us the horn and then give us the honk.
Hear ye,
give us the
hear
honk.
ye, presenting Sir Goosington.
Again, we want the goose head, the former one that was in Goose Island. We
right
want
here.
it here.
Sir Goosington.
We want Sir Goosington here. We have just given him a name.
And
He's
then-
just collecting dust. We'll give him a car wash, a goose wash.
And then we could do what Vinny suggests to have a little thing in his mouth so it sprays out beer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and
Ooh, a White
Cody
Sox
could-
splash zone.
Well,
But
I'd
it's
be
beer instead of water.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm
I'd
in
be
now.
nice to Cody, and we would let him chug the spray.
We only have so many hours in the day.
What do you mean? Oh, because you
Cody's gonna
can't
take it
chug.
slow.
Okay,
Ugh.
I'm also
Yeah.
slow. I didn't get that joke. Their beer roster includes Goose Island IPA, the Tropical Beer Hug, and I guess Herb is drinking a beer. I had no idea. Look at
He's
that.
holding a beer.
I'm holding a
3-1-2.
beer.
Why?
It's a prop.
I gotta drive home today. Even though this is only 4.5, I've had
Oh.
a couple.
Okay.
So I stay responsible, Sean.
Oh, okay. I got you. I didn't know that you had props. Anyways, that's a 3-1-2 Weed Ale. That's our prop right now. And we got events coming up like the CHGO tailgate, the Bears
4.2
tailgate with Goose Island. And I also saw that Goose Island over by the which one is this? I think it's their tap room. No, it's the original brew house in Lincoln Park. They're having a little fest.
Oh, yeah.
In September.
Good lineup.
Yeah, who's
Yeah.
there?
Neil Francis is there, who I saw recently at Thalia Hall. He's fantastic. The Heartless Bastards will be in town. Believe
You're just making people up?
no. I
Okay.
believe Houndmouth is
Deer Tick?
gonna be there. Yeah, it's a good lineup. I might see if I need to.
White
see if I can
Reaper.
get out to that.
Oh, Serengeti.
Oh, my guy, Dave
our guy.
Serengeti?
Yeah, Serengeti's going to be there. All right. Hell yeah. All right. And that's September 23rd and September 24th. So shout out to 312 Block Party. But and shout out to Goose Island for supporting us. Go grab an ultra fresh brewery exclusive beer at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer. Thank you.
Sir Goosington. That's
Sir Goosington.
I'd press it myself, Steven. You got to give me a little soundboard. They had that in radio. Maybe we got to go bust into the old score. They're probably just collecting dust there too.
I wouldn't
Just get a little-
relinquish that power, Stephen.
Our little
Yeah, I'm gonna
replay
keep that.
machine.
Oh,
It's
he's
gonna be a lot of
just
energy
playing
back
it
on
all the
these stuff.
time.
I'll become Les Grobstein.
Yeah.
With all my honks. No, my
Coming
little-
to take me away, a couple people got that one.
Where's this? Oh, okay. And since you have props for Goose Island, I'll wear my props for Shady Rays because Shady Rays is helping you take on the warm weather ahead, and it's gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Doesn't Vinnie look so handsome? Don't I look so handsome? Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. They have durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures, and that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, Dulce will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. You can wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. If you don't love your Shady Rays, or if you don't love your Shady Rays, you can exchange it for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back, and exclusively for you, our listeners, and I think there's over 100 people watching. Why? Not in a bad way, or there was 100 people.
You got
at some
88,
point.
Luis Robert Jr.
Hey, there you go.
Patrick Kane.
After a 9-3 loss, where they're hurtling towards 100 losses, they are giving their best deal of the season. Go to ShadyRays.com and use code CHGO for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized shades. Try for yourself. The shade rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, too, if you are one of the 88 hanging out with us or more. We do appreciate everyone hanging out. And, again, become a diehard today. We had a great event at Cog Hill, but as you you have right now. The sale's going on. $60 to become a diehard member. This is a sale that's never been done before.
Prices have been slashed.
48 hours only. Diehard membership with a free T-shirt from $79.99 to $60. The T-shirts are dope. We have dope merch for all teams. We have Sox merch. We have Cubs merch. We have Bears merch. We have Bulls merch. We have Hawks merch. You get the picture. You also get 20% off to events like the golf outing that we just had, the Crosstown event that we just had in July and August, the tailgates that are coming up.
They're doing some UC takeovers for both the Blackhawks and the Bulls, so mercy.
Maybe they'll probably can't take over Messi because that's probably going to be way too much when Messi comes to town.
Did you know
to
that that team that he's on is like the worst, one of the worst teams in MLS?
Miami?
Inter, whatever that team is.
You know they're not because they have that guy now.
I mean, no, but they still are. They're one of the worst teams. I looked at the standings the other day. I was like,
yeah, but he just got there.
This guy, he's terrible.
No, because they also got Jordi Alba, so they have like two world-class like soccer players, and he's just scoring every single game. They're gonna be fine. Don't worry about Miami. Anyways, where are we? No, it's the Die Hard read. You got me all effed up.
But the diehard read, you can just do the top 5.
Whatever feels. But head over to allchgo.com to sign up, become a diehard today, and especially take advantage of that 48-hour deal that's going on where you can sign up to become a diehard for $60. All right, let's go to the top 25. We should start at 25 just to recap if people haven't missed it. Steven, I don't know if that's too much of an ask. It doesn't seem like it. All right, starting at 25. And this was released yesterday, and they're going to be released tomorrow as well for, 15 through 11. But leading off, Candace Parker of the Chicago Sky at number 25, 2 years in Chicago, was a WNBA champ, two-time WNBA All-Star. 24, it was Richard Dent, sack machine. 12 years in Chicago, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, NFL Hall of Famer. 23, Dan Hampton, NFL Hall of Famer, was a part of the 85 Bears, 4-time Pro Bowler. At 22, Tony Esposito, 15 years in Chicago for the Blackhawks. 3-time Vezina Trophy winner, Calder winner, was on the NHL 100 anniversary team and was an NHL Hall of Famer. At 21, Ron Santo, 15 years in Chicago, 1 year with the White Sox, 9-time MLB All-Star, 5-time Gold Glover, MLB Hall of Famer, and 70.5 career WAR. And then the 5 that were released today.
Let's go!
Number 20, Mr. White Sox, the Cuban Comet, and MLB Hall of Famer, 13-time All-Star, 53.2 career WAR, and was the first Afro-Latino in MLB history. And he had 12 years in Chicago and was playing here when he was like 55. So he made a massive impact on the Sox.
I don't know if you saw this. They just named that elementary school right by Guaranteed Rate Field after Minnie Mignoso.
Oh, wow.
Minnie Mignoso Elementary, or Academy, I think it is. It's that one right at right on 35th and, what is that, Parnell or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, and his son Charlie's keeping alive his memory. I think he was out at that event, too, of the naming. So Minnie Mignoso still alive in Chicago. And they just gave out the plaques, too, after he went into the Hall of Fame. At Guaranteed Rate Field. What was that, last year?
Last year. Got one for Slush Poppy.
There you go. Hey, shout out.
Or actually, not Slush Poppy, for Wade Wilson.
Oh.
Twitchy.
Deadpool?
Yeah. Twitchy.
Well, no.
Was it Slush Poppy or Twitchy? One of the two.
There you go.
Both good guys who gave me tickets to this game last year.
Shout out. Did Minnie Minoso give you tickets to a game?
No, but I did meet him many times at Sluggers on the north side. He was there all the time. Had great conversation.
Cages?
No, just down on the bottom, just talking, enjoying. I think he lived over there. Chris Tannehill, the score, used to see him at the Jewel over there off of Addison. So he was in that neighborhood, just glad-heading, say what's up to people. And, people were none the wiser. That's damn Minnie Minoso talking to them, a Hall of Famer, eventual Hall of Famer.
That's a tough Jewel, by the way.
Is it?
That Addison Southport Jewel?
Yeah. Oh, no, not that one.
I'm Addison talking about Broadway Jewel?
Yes.
Yeah, that Jewel's better.
Okay.
That Jewel's weird, though.
Well, here's my problem with the Addison Southport Jewel is that there's not enough space between the end of the aisle and the wall. it's a hard turnaround.
Yeah,
That
and
one looks like a prison too.
Huh?
Doesn't that one look like a prison?
Look like a prison. Why would it look like a prison? It's a jewel.
It kinda looks
And like if you want
the
some
outside.
alcohol and you have you
gotta go upstairs.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you got to take an elevator upstairs because they don't have like one of those carts that can just take you up. It's like I'm shopping for everything. Bring the alcohol downstairs, jerks.
The next top 25 is going to be top 25 jewels.
Rank
I
the
think.
jewels.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
I've got
That's
at least
pretty
6.
good.
I've got it at least a top 6, I'd say.
How many jewels are in the Chicagoland area? Steven,
Hundreds.
do
Yeah.
some research. Well, I guess you got to share your screen. Do research later.
This is a great project. This is a great
This is
idea.
a good project.
I'm spearheading this next jewel rankings project.
That's a tough ask. You're just gonna take that on?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, all right. I'll keep your word. Sorry. 19. Derrick Rose, 7 years in Chicago, 3-time NBA All-Star, Rookie of the Year. Was that 2008? Yeah. NBA MVP and first-team All-NBA once. 18, Billy Williams, 16 years in Chicago with the Cubs, NL Rookie of the Year, 6-time All-Star. What is that on the left? Oh, home runs, 426 home runs, and then 63.6 career WAR for Billy Williams. Number 17, Devin Hester, 7 years in Chicago, 3-time NFL All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler, 20 career return touchdowns, and what is that? 2-time
NFL All-Decade team.
All-Decade team. Okay.
And future Hall of Famer, too.
Two different decades. He was that great. I know Sean disagrees, but continue with the 16th person.
Number 16, Fergie Jenkins, 10 years in Chicago. One time was a Cy Young Award winner. 284 career wins, MLB Hall of Famer, and 84.2 career WAR. Should we start with Devin Hester? Do we start with Minnie Minoso? I guess, is there anything else to add on with Minnie?
No, he was a great player and a great ambassador for the sport. And we in the selection committee saying that his impact as being the first Afro-Latino player in Major League Baseball. You see the effects not only with the White Sox, where you see direct effect with all the Cuban players that they've had, but around Major League Baseball, where some of the best players in baseball are Afro-Latino, and Minnie Minoso is the one who led them here. So his effect on Chicago, not just his playing career, but after his playing career and his legacy, still lives on. And that's part of why he's on this list.
I don't mean to be
Oh, Sean's going to Gen Z the hell out of this.
rude.
Go ahead.
Even though
I'm going to do the exact opposite.
Are you really?
Okay.
I'm going to take you back to 1930.
No,
When
I'm
Luke
good.
Appling,
can we not?
Can I not go?
no,
Yeah,
no.
I'm
When
good.
Luke Appling made his debut with the White Sox, and then played.
How do you know that Luke Appling's not coming in the top 15? Old aches and pains.
Yeah. There was two
All right.
people who
I'll
were
wait until
who were
Thursday to do this.
who were stumping for more White Sox people, and the person sitting in that seat, Kevin Kadek, was stumping for your man Luke Appling. Did he make it?
We will find out.
Okay.
I think I'll comment on what we've seen on the screen, though.
All right.
Which what you said, which is Devin Hester. That Devin Hester is ranked above Billy Williams and above Minnie Minoso. That's kind of ridiculous. You're talking about two faces of franchises. Devin Hester was like, what's he? Come on. He played like 2 minutes a game.
There was a clip that was shared on CHGO Sports of an incredibly handsome man, Herb Lawrence, talking about how Devin Hester changed the game.
He did.
Can we go back to the list? You know who also changed the game? A guy who is on this list, a guy who is an NHL Hall of Famer, a guy who is a top 100 player in the sport, and the man who brought the modern day goaltending style, the butterfly style, to the game of hockey.
Yeah.
So Tony Esposito is more of a game changer than Devin Hester.
Correct.
So what is this? Why did we do this? Because Devin Hester was fun to watch and he has really cool highlights?
Devin Hester literally has the most return touchdowns in the history of the game.
Who cares?
Who cares? They
Listen-
changed the game for him. No one's going to break that record because he was so damn good at
He's
it.
probably the best ever at that job.
The best ever.
Here's
So
a
you're
question.
overrating football,
No,
guys.
Here's a question. Here's a question then. All right. You know who was the best ever at their job in the history of their sport for the longest time before recent players passed him? Lee Smith.
Right.
Yeah.
All-time Cub great, one of the best closers in baseball history. Would you ever consider putting Lee Smith on a top 25 or better yet, a top 17 athletes in Chicago history?
No, because we knew that there was room for people to beat him. There's no one ever going to beat Devin Hester, ever. He's going to be the gold standard of kick returners, punt returners, forever. And don't forget, he played wide receiver. Now, you could say, I don't think he played poorly. I think people put the pressure on him from what Lovie Smith said.
Why did he play wide
He was a
receiver?
number one receiver because he made money. Then he's like, oh, he could be a number one receiver. He wasn't a number one receiver. That extra pressure was put on him by Lovie Smith in his words, but he was an all right, decent receiver that did a good job for the Bear.
So since fighting has now been turned down in NHL, whenever we start off the 6 or Toronto, TRN, OT, I expect when they do a top 25 list that Ty Domi has to be on the list because he leads the NHL history in fights.
Fighting's
and there's
dumb,
never
though.
going to be,
Fighting's dumb. It doesn't
Oh,
lead
okay.
to you
All right,
winning
all right.
games.
Well, but
Devin
he-
Hester
but he
leads
leads in,
in
he leads in a very
we're not
unique
gonna do that
stat.
argument.
He has the most fights in NHL history,
Yeah, that's-
and that's never going to be broken because there's never going to be any more fights. So
What you're
that
com-
means that Ty Domi should be a top 25
What
athlete
you're
in
comparing
Toronto
is
history.
apples to Comcots. It's not the same thing. This
this is
a
scoring points.
Yeah, this is scoring points. Tony Domi was a thug that happened to skate well. That's it.
Is Robbie Gould on this list?
Yeah, hey.
Is he?
Is he?
Is
No.
He's the Bears' all-time scoring leader. Is he on this list?
he? Is he?
Well, they're not going to change the rules for Robbie Gould. You're still going to be allowed to
I
score
think
points.
it's personally my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own. I think it's silly that Hester's on this list. I think it's silly that D Rose is on this list.
But D Rose makes more sense because he was an MVP.
One time.
How
This
many
is a
times?
career-spanning thing.
How many times was Devin Hester MVP?
We compared D Rose to the career of Gale Sayers because of the parallels of both having knee injuries that cut their careers in half or where they should have been. And so he spent 7 years here. It was a good 6 years, and then he wasn't good the 7th year because his knee was still effed up.
I'd contend that Derrick Rose should be higher because because Gale Sayers is overrated too.
Ooh.
Well, again, I think that football is overrated.
But maybe Gale Sayers isn't on here. You don't know. Is he top 50? Is he going to be in the top 50?
I could tell you that Gale Sayers is on the
Gale
list.
Oh,
Sayers,
spoiler alert.
If
Yeah.
Gale Sayers is on the list, I believe he's higher than Derrick Rose.
I think Gale Sayers
does-
is one of only 7 people who were unanimously on everybody's list.
That's weird.
Look, Gale Sayers is on everybody's list?
When there was like 8 NFL teams and he played 6 years,
He was a dynamic player.
so was
for those
D
6
Rose.
years. Yeah, and that's why he's on the list.
No, I know, but I'm saying like I think that if you were comparing D Rose and Gale Sayers, I would say that D Rose should be higher. But as we learned with Devin Hester being 17, football players are overrated.
Just all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not. Literally, the only one who cannot be overrated is Walter Payton. I'm assuming he's on the list.
Probably somewhere on there.
probably
I
on the
would
list.
imagine.
Also on unanimous.
But we'll see.
No,
Tune
and
in
I'm not
tomorrow.
saying that Gale wasn't good. I'm stumping for Luke Appling. Okay, folks, relax.
Old aches and pains.
What I'm saying is that football players are overrated. Devin Hester and Gale Sayers are examples because I think that Derrick Rose and Gale Sayers are very like. We know that Derrick Rose's competition and what's the not luminary? I don't know what the hell word I'm looking for was LeBron James. Like Gale Sayers was going up against contemporary.
Yeah.
Gale Sayers was going up against Chuck Bednarik. Like who was he going up against?
let me trump what you just said. Who was Luke Appling going against? Not the best players in baseball.
Probably someone who has thrown a spitball
Right.
more
No,
than likely.
that's-
So Luke
that's
Appling
fair.
gets a mark off of him. All the players before 1947 down for me because they weren't playing the best competition.
That's fair. I'm not. No, and that's. We'll get to Luke Appling when I guess we get to the top 3.
Is Cap Anson on the list too?
The Cubs guy?
Yeah.
No.
He's old. He's an old-timer.
Because of one specific reason. Because Cap Anson was not a great guy.
Terrible
guy.
Gabby Harnett is one of the
Oh,
greatest.
the homer and the Gloman.
One of the greatest catchers of all time.
He also hit the homer in the Gloman.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, look
It
it
was
up.
a late afternoon home
Yeah.
run.
And Aloy is not the D Rose of the Sox because again, D Rose was an MVP. I feel like there is some underrating of D Rose here, or at least an overrating of the football players. But we'll get to it. Any other thoughts here? We got 35 likes. Shout out to Frank Thomas. Any final thoughts, whether it be list related, White Sox related?
I'm looking forward to Dylan Cease going against the Baltimore Orioles tomorrow after that garbage outing. Garbage is tough, but he was terrible the other day. And see how he bounces back against a really good team, and not like the Colorado Rockies. Even though it's in Colorado, should be better than that. That's what I'm looking forward to, a noon start.
I'm excited that we get to bust out the weird mustache Dylan Cease over there.
The bobblehead.
The bobblehead.
Yeah.
The little furry mustache?
Yeah, we get to bust that out, so that should be fun. Anyways, that's going to do it for the CHGO White Sox postgame. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us. That's Vinnie Duber. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. That's Herb Lawrence. You can follow him at Ecknerwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson, your host. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow the show at CHGO_White Sox. Thank you to Mr. Unwritten Rules, Stephen Nicholas, for producing the show. And make sure to check out our Die Hard sale. It's a 48-hour sale, and you could become a Die Hard today for the price of $60, a $20 discount right now. So take advantage and get a free shirt when you sign up. And the shirt is a value of $30. So you're basically, getting the shirt and the membership for, 30 and 30 if you want to split it up that way. I don't know. I don't know why my brain would think that way. Anyways, bye, everyone. We'll talk to you tomorrow.